Well, I've been in this business over 40 years. This is the first time I've ever interviewed a mermaid. I am so excited. My family recently stayed at the Bee Ocean Hotel and Resort in beautiful Fort Lauderdale. And one of the great things is they have a mermaid show, and Ladies Castillo is the director and one of the mermaids. How long have you been doing this for?
I would say for 5.5, 6 years.
All right, and what's it like being a mermaid? I mean, I'm looking at your outfit, and you're doing like one of your main shows, I think, is on Saturdays for kids, right?
Yes, our family-friendly show is on Saturdays at 12. Every Saturday.
Every Saturday. And so basically, when the kids see this show, do they think that you're a real mermaid?
Yes, a lot do. These tales are very realistic looking underwater, and it really just keeps the whole illusion for the kids to really experience it fully. Unless they're like a certain age that maybe they're starting to get like older, they might be like, but 9 times out of 10, we try to keep it in character as soon as we get dressed, but as soon as we change.
How many mermaids are there in your group?
In total?
Yeah.
I would say like 8.
8, okay. And can you tell me?
The thing is, they completely fluctuate, and a lot of them are independent. So they do their own performances as well as work for the coral reef.
Could you tell me a little bit about the Coral Reef Mermaid Show? How does it all work? What happens?
Yeah, so it's actually ocean conservation with a lot of comedy. So I gave each mermaid their own personality, and we have a clumsy mermaid, we have a marine biologist mermaid. So they each come with their own storyline, and each mermaid lives in a barrier reef, in a reef around the world. Each mermaid loses a gadget that they need in order to return back home. But some of the items that we're gonna find in the restaurant do not belong, which are items like plastic bags, straws, and we teach the kids, and we actually have a recycle bin where the kids come up, and it's full participation. They come up, they throw away the water bottle in the recycling bin, and they place the gadget that the mermaid lost in a magical treasure chest, magically returning it back to the ocean, to the mermaid.
So it's very educational.
Oh yes, and there's a lot of games in between and activities. So pretty much the kids are having lunch afterwards.
Did you ever see the movie Splash?
I stay very up to date, but let me tell you, they've made a lot of mermaid like movies, and I forgot a good amount of them. Honestly, I feel like after a certain period of time, you want to have your own personality. Like sometimes like I'll refer to it, even if I like lose like a vision of something I'm trying to create, I listen to Ariel for hours.
Amazing.
But that's the only thing. And I'll sing along, and I'll literally be like, okay, think. But aside from that, I try not to I view them, but I try to stay as original and as original and outside the box as possible. Because a lot of people don't know there's a lot that you can do with with being a mermaid. And it's not always just in a pool, in a tank. You can do dry events, you can do ocean conservation, you can do so many other things. So I always try to keep thinking outside the box.
Now I've watched some highlights. How long do you stay underwater? How do you must have good training for that with your breathing.
I'm PADI free dive certified. So I go about like 34, 35 meters underwater, which is like 100 something feet.
Yeah.
Usually I get lost down there. Like I find like a little school of fish, and I just start chasing them until I realize it's starting to look a little dark. So I can't even tell you how deep I go. I just follow the fishes.
Well, this is something, obviously this is something, yeah.
Each of my girls have to have a minimum of 1:30 breath holds, but that's very, very feasible, believe it or not. Almost everybody can have at least 1:30 of breath holds. And over time, you just keep practicing. And there's an app that I give all of my new girls to use, and it's a breath hold app. It's a free app online, and you do it every morning.
I've been to a lot of hotels in my time. I've never actually seen a hotel like the B Ocean Hotel and Resort that actually has a mermaid show like this. And it's more than one. There's several of them during the week, right?
Yes, yes. We just started a new show. It starts March. Splash into the Past. It's actually a decade, 70s, 80s, 90s themed game show. And it's also underwater.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool.
I'll send you something of that because nobody believes it.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's a new one that's starting. We have like burlesque shows, we have boylesque shows. There's a good variety and a lot more coming. But we can only do one show.
You have I don't know what they're called. It's not a mermaid. Is it a merman? There's males.
Merman.
That are...
Yes, merman. I have one merman, but he actually lives on the opposite coast. But we have a good handful of mermen in the mermaid community.
Right, right. And the costumes look magnificent. That's obviously a big part of the show.
Yes, this is actually a mertailor tail. It's a silicone monofin with a neoprene skin. I also do have silicone tails, which are absolutely tight, and they're the most realistic tails because you feel the texture. This has the illusion of the texture, but if you touch it, you do feel like it is fabric. But when you touch a silicone tail, it's 100% silicone, like non-breathable. You feel the full texture all the way out. But those tails are really for more experienced swimmers because you can't actually get yourself out of the tail in case of like an emergency. It's kind of difficult.
Wow, it's
like
so
gonna oil your body and stuff just to get in there. It's not very.
It's so surreal. It's so surreal talking about this. So I guess wouldn't it be cool if you and your other mermaids were brought to the ocean and you started swimming around and freaking people out on, let's say, April 1st?
Oh, I do it all the time.
Do you really?
Yes, all the time. We have an underwater festival in the Keys. I'm actually doing it this year because last year I had the show here, and it freaks a lot of people out. But usually it's just like a second look. I do it all the time. A lot of my girls do it all the time, but mostly like free dive certified is usually the best way to go because you want to be safe than sorry and have the experience of knowing what you're doing underwater, especially in open ocean. But I do it all the time. It's so fun.
And
finally, you have to
finally,
be careful because some people are spearfishing. You don't want to go to just any
oh
area.
no, yeah,
You want to make sure you know where you're going.
absolutely.
But my dad's a professional fisherman, so we go diving all the time. So he'll be like fishing in like one corner, and I'll be like feeding turtles underwater.
Yeah,
I do it. I'm guilty.
Yeah. So finally, my last question to you is, obviously you're at the B Hotel Ocean and Resort, but you probably draw people from all over the area to come see this show. It's not just people staying at the hotel.
Oh yeah, they come from all the way passing Ocala, Florida.
Yeah.
People have driven just for one day. Key West, all the time.
Well, I'm in Montreal. I hope one day that maybe you could bring the mermaid show to us so we could see it here in beautiful Canada.
I have family over there.
All right. You know what to reach me. I'll book you somewhere, that's for sure. All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time and best of luck.
Thank you. Have a good day.